Hello, fellow photographers. Because this is an intro video into the series, I'm going to take a minute to tell you what made me start doing this series and why I'm doing it the way that I am. If you want to skip ahead to the main point of the video, you can go to this place in the video. So, not just in photography, but in all aspects in life, I believe you should never stop learning new things. For me, some of those things are relearning things that I know how to do, but there just may be a more efficient way of doing them. Occasionally, I will watch YouTube videos on how to take time-lapse or how to focus stack an image or whatever it may be. This is stuff that I played with when I was in college for photography, but I believe in seeing someone else's practices are important to help enhancing your own shooting or editing techniques. Now, the thing that bugs me the most about a lot of these videos I've seen is them telling you why you should listen to them, where to buy their product, and how you can be better by being like them or something along those lines. I have no intentions of doing that. I have no intentions of flaunting my work that has absolutely no relevance to the topic that we will be going over. Everything that is being discussed in one of my videos will be about the topic that is being addressed. I also don't enjoy watching an hour-long video to find out something I could have learned in 10 minutes. So I will be doing my best to keep my videos as short as I can. This will be done with cuts and fast-forwarding through things that are not as relevant or if I get off subject. I'm not a great public speaker, so I film these with cuts so that I can get to the point and move on to the next one without rambling on too much. I may one day do some more long-form videos, but they will not be how-to videos unless it's just a whole lot to cover. So now that I got all that out of the way, in my videos I will be letting you know what I am using to get the shots and the results that I am getting. And there will be links in the description if you want to buy the same things I am using, but as we're about to talk about, I think you should buy what works best for you. This is just so you know what I am using at my disposal to achieve what I am achieving. So now for the reason that you're here, let's talk about what you need to get started in photography. The first thing is going to be a camera, and this could be the hardest choice you will make. The reason being is that after you have been acquiring gear for your camera for so long and changing brands for a better camera will become very expensive. So it's best to choose the brand right in the beginning. There are a lot of camera brands out there, but I'm going to stick with only talking about the three main ones. And those are going to be Nikon, Sony, and Canon. I've heard reviews that people do that say the newest Panasonic is the best camera they've ever used, or the Pentax makes the best full-frame camera. And I'm not going to stand here and say that none of that is true, but with how fast technology changes, it's just not as important right now. The most important thing for you to look at is what is most comfortable for you. I find the best way to do this is to go down to Best Buy or a camera store and do some research. The research I'm talking about is something that will be specific to you and that you can't read online or be told by someone else. This is going to be what feels best in your hand, what feels best when you look through the viewfinder. Everyone's hands and head shape are different, so you need to find what feels best for you. Personally, I like heavier, larger cameras. But somebody may get tired of holding a heavier camera for a long time, or the camera may be too large for them to hit all the buttons easily. This is where research will come in. This is also where you need to completely ignore the status level that goes into camera brands. It's the same status from the kind of cell phone you have. At the end of the day, it doesn't matter that I don't prefer the iPhone over an Android. They're both great phones and do what they need to do. The same is true with camera brands. I've heard people talking in school that the Canon was such a better brand than the Nikon I was shooting, and I just wouldn't get as rich of pictures. The truth is, side by side, that once you know what you're doing with a camera, the brand just doesn't matter. So get the brand that fits your needs the most. The most expensive investment long-term is going to be in your lenses. So I will say, if you have someone handing down all of their Canon gear from their days of film, or if you find a bundle of old lenses for a Nikon at a garage sale, that is also something that can depict the brand you choose. Now, time to buy a camera. When it comes to the camera, the SLRs are king. What is an SLR? It stands for single lens reflex. And that means that when you're looking through the viewfinder, you're looking straight through the lens and you can compose your picture knowing what it's going to look like. Then, once you trip the shutter, the mirror will flip around and let light hit your camera or sensor of your film for the designated amount of time, then flip back. You've probably heard of DSLR. This is just a digital version of an SLR. These are the types of cameras you will most likely be looking at. If you want to shoot film, I would say you can find some good quality SLRs on eBay for only a couple of hundred. Now, if you're like most people and you want to shoot digital, then I would recommend doing some research and finding what you like. Then I would see if Best Buy has that camera. The reason I like Best Buy is that they price match and you can buy what I call their drop kick warranty. If I drop my DSLR in the water, I can take it to them and they will repair it or give me a new one. I've never had to do that, but it's good to have that safety net. Now, all these DSLRs will come loaded with features. Most of them you may never use. An important feature that you will want is the ability for your camera to shoot in RAW. I'm not going to dive into that in this video, but I will in a later video. This, more or less, will just give you a safety net when it comes to post-processing your images. Now, before you buy your camera, it's good to know what kind of photos you're planning to get when you buy this camera. For most types of photography, I would say that just about any DSLR from either Nikon, Canon, or Sony will be a smart choice. But if your goal is sports photography, I would recommend looking at something like a mirrorless camera as opposed to a DSLR. A mirrorless camera takes away that flipping mirror I mentioned earlier and replaces it with a prism that is sending light to both the sensor and the viewfinder at the same time. This will give you the ability to take much faster images back to back. Just getting started, I would say go for an entry-level camera. It will probably cost you around $500 to $600. But if you're aiming for something like sports photography and only sports photography, I recommend you save a little bit longer and you get the more expensive mirrorless camera. That way it will do what you want from the get-go. There's also the sensor size of your camera that you have to consider. Do you need to buy the full-frame camera or will a crop sensor work for you? This is a question that you will have to ask yourself. Are you going to be taking a lot of pictures at night? Are you getting into astrophotography? Are you going to be taking a lot of pictures in low-light environments? If so, then a full-frame camera would be the right choice for you. But it also comes with a much steeper price tag. So if your goal is not dealing with a lot of dark environments yet, then you probably don't need that full-frame camera just yet. Now, let's talk about how many megapixels you need. I'll explain in a later video what a megapixel is, but for now, the more megapixels you have will result in the ability to print your pictures larger. So now it's back to figuring out if you need a camera with 50 megapixels or if 10 will do the trick. You can get great prints on 11 inch by 14 inches with only 10 megapixel camera, and these will absolutely look stunning on Facebook or Instagram. So unless you're really going to be utilizing all those extra megapixels, maybe it's safe for you to save some money and space on your hard drive and get the camera body that offers not the most megapixels, but just how many you need. Now that we've talked so much about camera bodies, it's time to talk about lenses. Most of the time when you buy a camera, you will buy in a set where it comes with at least one kit lens. In the beginning, this is all you really need to learn on. I do like to go into pawn shops and garage sales occasionally and see if I can find something for a good price, but right now I would say it's too early to focus on spending a lot of money on prime lenses. Most kit lenses that come with a camera are going to offer a focal range from about 18 to 55, so that will be perfect to learn on. Okay, so now moving on to memory cards. Different cameras will accept different cards, but SD cards are the main ones. XQD cards are making a splash as well. When you buy memory cards, you will want to get something with a high write speed and a large size. You may have to refer to your Kindle to see what it can handle them. I highly recommend having more than just one memory card. Now we're on to tripods. I would recommend being ready to spend a little bit of money on a tripod. You don't want to get a light one and it blow over in the wind or break after just a couple times you use it. This is the one that I'm currently using. It wasn't too expensive and I do highly recommend it. It's been the best tripod I have used, and it only costs a little over $100. I will include a link to it. Next is going to be your editing program. I'm a huge fan of Adobe. I highly recommend learning Photoshop, but if you're not ready to spend that money, you could look into GIMP. I've never used it before, but I've heard good things. I've been talking to a friend of mine who didn't want to pay for Photoshop, so I told him about GIMP, and he is loving it. I would recommend starting out to download Adobe Bridge. This is a free program from Adobe for file browsing. It lets you add keywords and edit your metadata and browse the pictures you have. This is going to bring us to the end of this video. I've listed everything you need to get started in shooting. There are a lot more things that you will buy as you venture through photography, but this is all you need to start getting great shots and to learn your gear. When you're ready to move forward, you can upgrade pieces at a time and learn it. But you will already have a base brand that you like in your camera, and you can look for lenses and flashes and so on that fit your needs. Good luck and happy shooting.